come once again to discuss things.
Instead of a sonic screwdriver, he just like slaps doors and they like fall off.
No, he just starts to unzip his pants and doors open out of fear. Yes, we just invented Peter Capaldi cock jokes. I'm so proud.
I knew we'd get there someday.
I knew one day humanity would soar to new heights and Peter Capaldi cock jokes would exist.
And on that note, hi everybody, welcome to this very special episode of Geeky Gentlemen. Or not special. This is a normal episode. There's nothing special about that. Anyway. I'm Sid Part2. Joining me today is Bill Worster, a.k.a. Zazubar, and Milan, I don't know, he might show up.
Maybe.
I don't know what the fuck he is.
Nobody really cares.
You just won't hear Lou Ferrigno naked jokes. I'm sorry, everyone.
You hear the...
I know you've come to expect things like that from us, but it's not going to happen.
There will be no Milan thinking about Lou Ferrigno's luscious green cock under those not even ripped purple pants. Just kind of short capris in this version of the Hulk.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I'm excited about this week, Ian. I am very excited.
Oh, really?
I'm quite excited. This was a big thing for me as a kid. And I haven't revisited...
So I get to shit on something from your childhood?
Oh, no, you can't shit on this, Ian. You can't. I have too many fond memories. No, but this was my favorite TV show as a kid, and was the thing that got me into the Hulk, which is why he's my favorite comic book character today. So this was a big deal for me, and I haven't revisited this pilot in a while. I don't remember how long. It's been a while, so I was excited, and I rewatched it last night, and I was not disappointed.
Yeah. Me either. I was pleasantly surprised by this. It's not like perfect or anything.
Far from it.
No, but I was
say
like,
what we're talking about, by the way.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the pilot for the 70s Hulk show, 70s, 80s Hulk show.
Late 70s, early 80s. Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, kind of the thing that put the Hulk on the map, put Lou Ferrigno on the map, and reignited Bill Bixby's career. He was a major actor before this, but this gave him a new following.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like, the thing about it is, it's not crap, which is, I think, the best thing I could expect from a 70s superhero show.
That's the thing, is you go into it thinking, oh, good, a Marvel 70s TV show. I wonder how bad this is going to be. And it's like, wow!
It's not terrible.
More than that, it's weird, because 70s superhero shows were infamous for being nothing like the comics. And
what other 70s superhero shows were there besides Wonder Woman?
Spider-Man.
Really? There was a Spider-Man show?
You've never
like
heard of the 70s live-action Spider-Man?
I've never heard of the
Ian,
live-action
do
Spider-Man.
yourself a favor. Watch the intro. It is genius.
Oh,
it
good.
Is magical.
Is it going to be better than Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark?
I wouldn't expect that much from it.
Okay.
But it's pretty magical. But coming into, but it's interesting because I have that perspective now, thinking of 70s superhero shows were horrible, and but when I first saw this was the first introduction I had to the Hulk. This was I actually watched this in preparation for the 2003 movie coming out. And just to get a taste of what the Hulk was like, and this was not the best thing to watch to get a taste of what the Hulk is like. Because this ain't nothing like the Hulk, but we'll get to that. I didn't think of it as, those kind of shows were really bad back then, but now, when you think back of it, it's kind of a miracle at just how good this really is, and how well it holds up, when you consider where it was made, and why it was made, and all these other factors that may have led to it being a piece of garbage that will be forgotten. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think one of the interesting things about this, and one of the things why I think the Hulk ultimately turned out to be one of my favorite comic book characters, is because this so much plays like a monster movie. It's insane how much of it is a monster movie as opposed to a superhero story.
It really is, and I think that's the thing about the Hulk, is he's not a superhero, he's a damn monster.
Right.
The Hulk is just a more science-y version of, or not even science-y, a more extreme version of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Oh, totally. And the angle they take with it is a little bit more lean towards him being accessible to a superhero universe, and in the show, that concept is definitely presented. I mean, the whole thing is the whole premise of the show following this pilot is he goes from town to town as a wanderer, as the lone, as a drifter, and he gets a job, he helps somebody out, and then he leaves again. Because of the appearance of the Hulk, and he needs to keep moving on. And it really does work for the Hulk, because the way they play the Hulk is this outcry of rage that's also he's basically David Banner's childhood sensibilities, because he can be horrendously violent, but also supremely innocent.
Yeah, and that's actually a portrayal of the Hulk that I prefer. I don't care, to be fair, I've only seen the animated movie, but assuming that it gets the gist of the story and the gist of the characterization from the novel, I'm going to assume they didn't completely fuck it up.
They fucked it up pretty bad, though. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they fucked
it up. But does it get is it good enough to understand what they're doing in the book? Is there anything that's significantly different in characterization?
The Hulk is not that smart in the book.
Well, still, it's not. I don't like smart Hulk, but that's not the big.
The difference is the movie.
Hold on. Let me make my point here.
Go ahead.
I don't like the Planet Hulk style Hulk where he's somewhat intelligent and where he's got his own motivations that are completely separate from Banner. I don't like that. Because, goddammit, they're the same guy. It doesn't make sense to have that complete split personality thing. The Hulk only shows up when Bruce Banner is angry or hurt, so they have to have something in common. I like the Hulk as the idea of, in a Freudian sense, Bruce Banner's id purely expressed. And what I find interesting about the Hulk is he's this just raging ball of pure id, just reptilian brain kind of id.
Totally, yeah.
But he still does positive things to help people. And that's one of the things I think I like about this show, is it gets that version of the Hulk that I've always found interesting.
Yeah. You'll like a lot of the show then if you prefer that version. It's very much so that. I'm a big Hulk fan, so I like both. The problem, and let me just say this to kind of disagree with and agree with your point at the same time. It's a lot harder to make the smart Hulk interesting because it doesn't have that immediate, relatable, philosophically interesting aspect of this creature is all of our internal rage. So it's a lot easier to kind of tell a generic story and find that still kind of a hook. Smart Hulk is really easy to make bland, because Smart Hulk is any other strong superhero. Yeah. And to point to an example of it that was done really badly, I watched the Marvel animated feature, Hulk and Iron Man Heroes Unite, or whatever the fuck it was called. It's a fucking piece of shit.
I've seen it.
It is bad. And Hulk talks like you and I in that movie, and it's boring, because it's like, alright, I mean, he's just any other superhero, but for some reason everybody's pissed at him, and they don't explain why, even though he's able to rationalize and, explain himself. It's like, what the fuck? Why is Iron Man shooting at him when Hulk is like, I didn't do this, Iron Man? Iron Man's like, fuck you, Hulk! Just shooting at him. And it's like, what? I mean, the Hulk's explaining to you logically why you didn't do this, and you're still shooting at him. Thing with Planet Hulk, and I don't want to focus on this, but just to say this, Planet Hulk does make what Planet Hulk does is they have it be where the Hulk is kind of becoming separate from Banner slowly, because the portion of his brain that's most affected by the gamma radiation just is becoming stronger because of how long it's been around. So the idea is, in a sense, the Hulk is aging. So all of the rampaging Hulk is kind of childhood Hulk. tantrum-filled, mood-swing, unrational Hulk. And the one we see in Planet Hulk is kind of like 15, 16-year-old Hulk, where he's able to rationalize, but he's also really full of himself, and also very, very, again, also very swept up by emotion. And that's what I find really interesting about Planet Hulk. Is seeing
I want to see middle-aged Hulk. He's dealing with his inadequacies.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I want to see that, too. But actually...
Middle-aged Hulk goes and buys a Ferrari.
Hulk wears...
inside of it.
Hulk wears crotchless, what are they called? Those things you wear over your jeans? Shit, what are they called? Crotchless chaps.
Yes, crotchless chaps.
Yeah, I want to see that. No, but let me just finish this point quick. I think we had this conversation once. Why, at a certain point in the Hulk continuity, I just so badly wanted them to do away with Bruce Banner and just do Smart Hulk, is because in the comics, Bruce Banner is a whiny bitch who is not likable at all. So in the comics, you don't want to see that character because it's like, I don't sympathize with you. You have no human emotion whatsoever, and you're not interesting. Mm-hmm. Why? And thus, it's like, as a Hulk fan, it's like, Hulk's more interesting than you, so I want to see him. Now, why that? Why?
Well, can I just throw in real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
See, I agree with that. I've never read I'm sure I've gotten through a little bit here or there, but I've never been into Hulk in the comics because Bruce Banner always seems like the same character. My favorite version of Bruce Banner is in 2008 with Ed Norton, because he's just, and I've heard people say that 2008 is a lot like the TV show version, and I can kind of see that. I like him in that because he's trying to find a cure.
He's proactive.
And with the cut intro, he was trying to just save the world from the Hulk, something that he thought was a horrible monster that could never be, contained or stopped or whatever,
right.
And that didn't work, which, God, I wish they'd kept that intro. They cut it because of Captain America being slightly in frame or something. Stupid. But anyway,
that was the reason.
It was.
It wasn't the fact that in a children's superhero movie, the fucker was shooting himself in the head.
Anyway, no, but what I like about that version of Bruce Banner is he finally just comes to terms with it over the course of the movie. He's like, well, maybe we can aim it like a gun. You can't control a bullet, but you can aim it. And I like that. That was really clever. And this Bruce Banner seems kind of like that same way. He's trying to control what he feels is happening. That's why he puts himself into the pressurization chamber and everything. Yeah. Fuck that.
Can we talk about that for a second? There's a really funny story behind that. I know a lot about the history of the show. I'm going to try and not go into all the details because it's not relevant, but I know a lot of the history of this show, and some of it's really fascinating, some of it's hilarious. So, Kenneth Johnson, the guy who developed the show and directed and wrote the pilot, which we're going to review, had a long fight with Stan Lee about how much of the comic Hulk was going to be in his version. He almost wanted to completely abandon the comics and do his own thing with it. Because what happened was Universal got the rights to about 7 different Marvel characters, and they could pick which one they wanted to make a show out of, and Kenneth Johnston was dreading it because he had no interest in superheroes. But the one that he got stuck on because of the interesting idea of, controlling one's rage was the Hulk. Which, the rage thing is what's expounded upon in the movie. That's the whole center point of the film. Of the pilot, rather. And, originally he wanted to make the Hulk red because he thought that made more sense with rage. He's like, why is he green? Is he the envious Hulk? And Stan Lee's like, dude, you gotta make him look like the Hulk. So he had to keep the green Hulk. And then the biggest thing he wanted was to change Bruce Banner's name to David Banner. Now, they've given 2 reasons for why they've changed the name from Bruce to David Banner. One comes from Kenneth Johnson, and one comes from Stan Lee. Kenneth Johnson always said that the reason why he changed Bruce Banner's name to David Banner was because of how different this version was, he wanted to separate it from the comic book version to make it his Hulk. And also kind of, Bruce Banner is a very comic book name. It just sounds like a comic book writer came up with it. It's for like a comic book type universe. So, because it's Bruce Banner, it's alliteration. As a lot of Marvel characters were back then. What he said that he changed it for that reason. Stan Lee has a very different explanation for why they changed the name from Bruce to David. Stan Lee's explanation was because I had a long conversation with somebody at the studio, not Kenneth Johnson, we had a long conversation about how the name Bruce sounded vaguely homosexual. And of course, this is the 1970s, so that kind of doesn't fly on a network television show. So his claim was they wanted to change his name to David Banner because that didn't sound homosexual. And they wanted this guy to come off as a straight-laced, kind of conservative, prototypical American protagonist. So that's why Stan Lee claims that they changed the name because they didn't want him to sound homosexual, and Stan Lee was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I mean, there are so many actors and athletes and stuff who are not homosexual, who are very much so the David Banner kind of prototypical American. I mean, aside from it all coming off as very homophobic, again, this was the 70s. It's just bizarre. So
that is so weird. I mean, Stan Lee did that with all of his characters, though. Bruce Banner, Reed Richards, Sue Storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's like really the name Bruce is
Peter Parker,
synonymous with homosexuality.
J. Jonah Jameson.
It's weird. I just can't believe that that was their thing. Like, we don't want him to come off as gay. It's like you've got a naked green man running around the
Well, that's why they didn't want it to come off as gay, because they're probably going to get a lot of insinuations.
That it was
anyway.
The 70s. Yeah, and it's gay enough as it is.
Well, I don't think it's particularly gay.
I'm kidding, Ian. I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, but
okay.
Funnily enough, in the interview Stanley did where he talked about this, he says there are lots of men in pop culture who are not homosexual who have the first name Bruce, like Bruce Jenner, and I'm like, yeah, Bruce Jenner's definitely not gay. Look at Bruce Jenner now and tell me how masculine he looks.
All right, fine, Bruce Lee.
No, but at the time, I mean, that's the only example he uses.
Okay.
I'm not saying the name Bruce is gay. I'm saying his example is funny in modern context because it's like, wow, that's supposed to be a man. Anyway,
no, the David Banner. No, we're gonna fuck that. His name's Bruce Banner.
I'm gonna call him David because I'm used to that. I'll actually fuck it up in the reverse. Whenever I talk about like the Avengers, I'll call him David Banner just because I'm used to the show.
That is funny. It's such a weird thing. Like, I guess I get Red Hulk as opposed to Green Hulk. Because, yeah, Red Rage, sure. It makes sense that you'd want to do that, but, like, you can't change it. Obviously, you can't do that.
It's not the Hulk. It's like, make your own thing then, fucko.
Right?
It's like, don't call it the Hulk. Call it the Red Hot Chili Pepper Monster. I don't know. Come on, what, you don't think that would sell?
I would totally watch a movie called The Red Hot Chili Pepper Monster.
and ironically enough, there's no affiliation with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's just the name. But regardless of the name change, I find David Banner to be a really potentially the most likable version of Bruce Banner, of that character. Maybe tied with Ruffalo and Norton's portrayal. Though we've gotten to see more of the developments behind his version of it, so I lean towards Bill Bixby's portrayal just because we know more about his version of him. But I do like them as well, especially Ruffalo. I really like Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. There's a lot of Bixby in him, so I think that's why I like him so much. He even has the same duffel bag in the Avengers, which I thought was a cool reference. So I don't know.
I hated Ruffalo.
Why?
I don't know. The more Ruffalo I see, the more I'm like, it could have been Edward Norton.
But he didn't want to be in it. Of course it could have been Edward Norton.
Well, no. Edward Norton could have been in it if the motherfuckers had let him just You didn't even have to put his notes in the story. All he wanted to do was give notes on the damn story.
But you're saying, like, oh, they could have had Edward Norton, but they just wanted Mark Ruffalo. Well, I mean, it was whatever. It was a major thing. I think Mark Ruffalo did well as his follow-up.
I don't like that Mark Ruffalo is fat. I think that's
what the fuck,
not fat,
Ian?
but chunky. I don't like
He's
that Mark
Bruce
Ruffalo
Banner.
is chunky. But here's the thing. Bruce Banner is in the movie. It's not just like in general. In the movie, Bruce Banner has been on the run for years.
All right, yeah, fair. But who fucking cares? His performance is great.
No, he's kind of flat to me.
Bullshit.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that the damn Hulk doesn't make any sense in that movie.
What do you mean?
I can turn on that's my secret cap. I'm always angry. Is that why you tried to kill Black Widow like 10 minutes ago?
Well, no. Well, it was set up at the end of the first one was he could control it now.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like, then why did he freak out and nearly destroy the damn helicarrier?
Because I'm sure that at points, but again, he was also under immense stress from what Loki did to him.
I don't know,
it makes perfect sense to me. Also, in every version of the Hulk where he does get to the point where he can control it, he's not always able to. Sometimes it just leaks out.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't know. I still find that really weird.
You just don't like it because he's fat. You're a sizist.
I am a sizist. No, that's like my nitpick that always bothered me. But there's a lot about the Hulk in that movie that, like, even the visual of the Hulk in that movie.
He looks fantastic. You're crazy.
He looks terrible.
He looks amazing. And Ruffalo's great. I like this. See, here's the thing. Bruce Banner makes sense as being a dry, kind of unemotional, kind of seemingly uninteresting scientist, but not a very likable character to follow sometimes. That's why I like the Bill Bixby-esque portrayal where he's got a sense of humor. He's got a kind of corny wit to him. I don't know, I like that version as opposed... It's weird, because I'm a comic book Hulk fan, but in many regards I think that Bill Bixby and the changes they made to him are kind of more interesting and more likable than the original. And here's the other thing. There's not much to bitch about in terms of what they changed of Hulk material prior to this show. A lot of what I would complain about was introduced later.
Yeah.
With Peter David's run, because Peter David's run is kind of the definitive run on the Hulk. Before this, Hulk was always changing. I mean, it was just a constant shift of what he was and why. Like, the anger thing wasn't introduced until, like, maybe 7 years before the show went on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Hulk was whatever the fuck the writers wanted for years. I mean, some of it was just... originally, it was the moon causing the transformation. And then it was, like... It was a bunch of shit. Like, then Bruce Banner could control it. Other times, it was just the Hulk was just coming out whenever he wanted. It was a constant shift. But I also really like, what's interesting, though, is that they kind of, even though it hadn't been written yet, they kind of introduced the things that made Bruce Banner different in the comics later in the show. Because the whole thing about Bruce Banner in the comics that they introduced later was that he was abused as a child. Mm-hmm. And that's what built up the Hulk in his mind. That's what he turned into when he got hit by the gamma rays. And they don't do physical child abuse, but they do indicate that he had a really bad relationship with his father.
Which is one of the things they did in the 2003 movie that kind of worked.
Totally. I mean, there's a lot.
I'm wondering if you could save that movie with a fan edit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't. But that's the thing. The other thing why I think that movie failed a lot of the time was because I didn't like Bruce Banner in that movie. I thought he was whiny and bitchy and unlikable. A lot of and the whole cast was like that. There's not one person in that movie I find likable. They're all just assholes. Either that or they're spending the whole movie crying. Like, Bruce Banner isn't an asshole, but he spends half the movie crying.
But there's, like, 2 really cool scenes in that movie.
There's a couple cool scenes. Like, the action scenes are pretty good.
Nah, those are okay, but kind of standard fare for the time period.
Yeah.
Favorite scene is when Hulk is falling to Earth, and then we suddenly just go into, like, a hallucination, daydream, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's Bruce Banner, and he's, like, brushing his teeth, and Hulk just rips through the side of the house and goes, puny.
That was a great scene. Fantastic.
That was awesome. And, like, I'm wondering if they ever did anything like that in this.
Yes, they did.
The other one that was really good was, when they're bringing the Hulk to the military facility just because the shots of, like, the comic book panel layout was so cool.
Yeah, they did do something similar to that in the show. There's an episode later on where Bruce... Oh, I can't believe this happened. It was the 70s, remember? In Season 3, David Banner works for this rock star, and he works as a lighting designer for his shows, because, 70s. And there's this part where, because he's a rock star in the 70s, David Banner is accidentally exposed to LSD. And he trips out, and when he trips out, he sees the Hulk as a hallucination, and the Hulk is attacking him, which they had done in the show kind of before with, like, there was a scene where he was hypnotized earlier on, and he met the Hulk in those scenes, but in this instance, it's similar to that because the Hulk attacks him and is trying to kill him because, the whole idea is I'm trapped inside your body, and then he turns into the Hulk out of fear of the Hulk. And then the Hulk trips out and sees David Banner and tears the studio apart trying to attack David Banner. And then it goes from there. There's some weird episodes of this show. And let me just say this, and I think we'll have to get to the pilot at some point, is that the biggest complaint I have with the show is that so many of the scripts are just recycled plots for movies that came out at the time, with the Hulk thrown in. But the way the Hulk is thrown in is so shoehorned and unnecessary. It's like, this didn't have to be an episode of the Hulk.
Yeah.
And the biggest example of this is that, and there's a bunch of them. Just where, like, there's one episode about a diamond heist where the Hulk is almost a hindrance, where it's like, oh wait, we have to have him turn into the Hulk at some point. What can we do? Oh, I don't know. Have him fall down some stairs. He'll turn into the Hulk and beat up the robbers, and that'll be it. And then he'll just move on. There are some. Let me just say this: the show won a couple Emmys, has a huge cult following, and I still really enjoy it. There are some shitty episodes of this show, though. Really shitty episodes. Stretches of shitty episodes. Almost all of Season 3 is unwatchable.
Okay. But yeah, you're right. We need to get into the pilot. Fair enough.
I love how it opens.
It's a really powerful scene, especially for the 70s.
Very reminiscent of Up, in a way, where it establishes this whole relationship without any dialogue.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, everyone kept saying that. Up establishes the relationship without any dialogue, except for the dialogue at the beginning of the movie and the exposition,
Oh.
There was that.
Whatever. But
there's the whole scene with her talking as their kids and stuff, and I mean, like, the main character isn't talking at that point, but I mean, they're acting like it was done with all animation, and no, there's clearly exposition.
Yeah,
and
but
voice
still, they build up a whole relationship in 10 minutes, a whole life.
Yeah, fair enough. But no, I did really like that, and I was really shocked by you usually don't see a character die at the beginning of stuff.
A lot of people die in this show.
No, just anytime you kill someone in your first episode within like the first 5 minutes, even before you do the titles, a lot of times, like Green Lantern, the animated series, did that. In the pilot, before even the title shows up, you see a Green Lantern and you get fucking murdered.
Happened, sir?
No.
Oh, that was so aggressive.
No, it's one of the good things about the Green Lantern series. They don't bother with the origin.
Oh.
You just start out and it's fucking Hal Jordan doing his thing.
I'm praying it's Guy Gardner, because nobody likes Guy Gardner.
No. The show actually does a fairly good job with Guy Gardner. But anyway,
back in it? I don't like Guy Gardner.
Second season, and briefly, he's only in 2 episodes.
What about Jon Stewart? Is he in it?
Really funny joke. Okay, so like the first episode of the second season, and everyone's going to harp on me for it, it's the second season, I don't care what anyone says. First episode of the second season, Guy Gardner shows up, and he's replaced Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern of Earth, because Hal Jordan's been out in deep space doing shit for like a year. And he comes back and like, who the fuck are you? I'm Guy Gardner, the new Green Lantern of Earth. And he's just like a really big asshole.
Guy Gardner, of course he is.
Yeah. He keeps like smiling for the cameras and keeps taking his spot. And they eventually they're cool with each other by the end of the episode.
Right.
And then last episode, or maybe second to last episode of the season, Guy Gardner's out in space, and Hal's like, "What are you doing here? Who's protecting Earth?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I made honor guard, so they got a new Green Lantern for Earth." "Who is it?" Some guy, Jon Stewart, the fake news guy?
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Oh, that's so funny. I love it.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the thought. No, I mean, I'm really impressed when you have the balls to kill someone at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like, if you do it down the line, alright, sure. But to murder a character at the very beginning of the thing,
yeah,
before your opening titles, that's a big deal.
More than that, to open with your protagonist being profoundly depressed in a primetime family show is also very, very ballsy and works phenomenally. I mean, David Banner is immediately sympathetic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And proactive. A lot of characters who do turn out to be this depressed they kind of start off as very aimless. Like, they're looking... And in a way he kind of is, but it's more proactive than other versions. It's like, oh, they're kind of wandering around. Like, they're wandering around in a trench coat thinking about life and shit, and trying to find a new purpose in their life beyond what caused their depression. And I suppose, in a way, David Banner is trying to find a purpose in what caused his accident to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still more proactive about it because he has a problem. It's haunting him because he doesn't understand why he couldn't lift the car when all these other people could. And
yeah, I loved that.
It was fantastic.
That was like some of the best character stuff I've ever seen for Bruce Banner or the Hulk in general.
Absolutely,
Is just,
yeah.
Because most of the time, like in the 2003 movie, it's, oh, he was, abused as a child, and that's why the Hulk. But like, a lot of times he's doing government research, and the Hulk thing kind of happens completely by accident.
Right.
No, this one, strength became like a major character part of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just to become strong because fucking gamma rays. It's because he was looking for inner strength.
Yeah.
And it's the moral of the story in a way is, be careful what you wish for.
Right. Absolutely. Don't let your demons control you is very much so the point of the story. I mean, and that's the whole and very much so. His voice of reason is Elena, who should be Betty Ross, not Betty Ross as I call her. She's very much his voice of reason, going, you can't let this control your work. If you do, you're gonna make a big mistake, and
which he does.
He makes a big mistake.
I like that the origin of the Hulk, or the incident that creates the Hulk, if you will, is not an accident, it's an accident, but not like, oh, something went wrong with the equipment.
Yeah,
and
nothing blows up
it.
in this movie. It's all intentional.
Well, no, the building blows up in this movie, with really surprisingly good practical effects.
Right, totally.
For a 70s television show.
And the special effects are pretty... They hold up fairly well in a lot of the scenes.
The fades don't hold up that well.
Fades?
When he sits down...
Okay. Yeah, that's like something I would do in one of my movies. Yeah, totally. But, the first transformation scene looks amazing.
I'm trying to remember it.
Because it looks like... Because with the mix of the rain and the darkness, it literally looks like Bill Bixby is just contusioning into this monstrosity.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now I'm remembering. Yeah.
And it works really well. They never do the transformation that well again. Never.
That's disappointing.
The show is always very quick with it, and they just...
Well, I honestly think they'd be better off if, he's just constantly going behind something and turning into the Hulk.
They do that a lot, but the trick they tend to do is he gets thrown somewhere, like behind a door or under something. He's covering his face. He slowly moves his arm. You see the white eyes. You hear that awesome sound effect, the ding! And then they just do a bunch of close-ups on Bill Bixby with green skin. Then they just do his arm, what they did practically was they just gave Lou Ferrigno a bunch of really small shirts and just had him bend his arms so they would rip. And it's cool, like, once, and then they do it, like, twice an episode, and it's like, alright, guys, we get it. He's big. So, yeah.
That's... I mean, like, no, I really like some of the effects they were able to pull off, just practically, though. But getting back to the story element, I did like that, the Hulk doesn't become the Hulk, because I always thought that was such bullshit. I mean, they didn't even bother getting into it in 2008. And what they did in 2003, and I'm still not convinced those are entirely separate continuities, what they did in 2003 was just, like, so random. Oh, we're trying to make Toads big.
that was bullshit.
And it's just like...
It's Bruce Banner's own fault he turned into the Hulk.
Yeah, I like
the fucker stands in the way of the bomb in 2003.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally grabs it and is like, I'm gonna stand right here so it looks cooler.
Right? I might die, but I'll look badass. Maybe some shit will happen, I don't know.
With a non-existent camera, maybe I'll turn into a green monster and I won't die.
If wishes were rainbows. No, but, like, I really do like that it's a character thing that he becomes Hulk. It's not just, twist of fate kind of thing. And I think it's, most of the time in the comics, it's just fucking dumb luck that he becomes the Hulk, because
it kills a lot of other people, the Gamma Bomb, in most continuities, and he's the only one who survives. And in all the other continuities that they've done that aren't directly based on the comics, the animated series withstanding that, they've always had to explain why it didn't kill him. Like in 2008, it was because he had the primer that Betty Ross gave him. And
primer.
What was the reason they said in 2003 he had these like weird like it was because he had the
he already had
the shit that the dad gave him. The origin of the Hulk is fucked in that movie.
Well, it's so bad because it's not told linearly
and complicated as shit.
Well, like, you gotta give it some leeway because yes, it's complex, but the director was trying to have us figure it out with the character, which is always a good intention.
Yeah.
But he was also trying to have the character discover repressed memories.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that could have been fascinating.
It's not, though.
But it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm reasonably sure because the cinematography looked so damn dark. It's just every shot in that movie was in shadow, and I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on.
That, and I still withstand that a lot of why that movie is as painfully boring as it is, and why I just don't care about anything that happens in it, is because all the characters are just so unlikable.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just talking about the story standpoint.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, but in the pilot, I like that it's his own choice. Mm-hmm. He's expecting something from it. He just gets more than he bargains for.
Yeah,
because apparently there's some guy going around the fucking university like a wrench.
Fucking around with people. It's like, hey, guess what I'm gonna do, Jim? I'm gonna make this like 1,000,000 times stronger and not tell anybody.
Like, I'm reasonably sure the doctor left his sonic screwdriver in the motherfucker's toolbox, and he's just like pointing at that shit, trying to figure out what it does.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, look, this machine can now see DNA. And we're not gonna patent that.
Oh God.
That was just like that just lets you know how uninformed the community of the United States, or the populace of the United States, was about science.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of wonderful pseudoscience in this pilot. I mean, the way they do the radiation is good, because it's very realistic as to how you would get irradiated realistically, as opposed to just a bomb going off.
No, I mean, like, that's fine. I actually kind of liked... Like, I think you could have done it in the cell, because, I mean, like... Alright, so they do the whole thing where, like, oh, maybe the secret's in their cells, and, well, there's nothing in the cells. Well, maybe the secret's in the DNA. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
So then they go look at the DNA, I'm like, why not just have it be the cells if you're just going to match it up with the gamma thing? And the only reason they do that is to add the plot device of this motherfucker walking around, scooping up the scientific equipment willy-nilly.
I mean, it makes sense that, they give a good enough reason as to why David didn't know how much gamma he was getting, because the guy didn't know how high he could get it to go. But write the word danger on there at least. Like, don't fucking put it here yet.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's weird that he's just like, that they have to have it go from cell to DNA, because I'm like, you didn't really need that. I mean, we can look at cells, so why not just have it be in the cell?
Well, because for those of you who haven't seen it, or it's been a while, the explanation for the Hulk that they, or the strength in general that they give in this movie, is that seemingly all of us have this abnormality in our DNA. And I think the idea is we all have it, right? Because otherwise...
No. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an abnormality.
Right. Okay, fair enough. But I was just thinking, like, well, it's kind of a coincidence then that... I don't know, whatever.
What do you mean a coincidence?
Well, here's my question then. I don't know. Why did he expect that he would have it?
No, he didn't. There's that whole scene where he says... all of them have it, and I don't. That's why.
No, he does have it, though, because then they do his DNA.
No, Bill, shut up. He has the line. He has the line, why do all of them have this? That explains why they're all able to do this. They have this abnormality in their DNA that I don't. And he seems all relieved about that, but then his assistant goes, well, how do you know you don't? Let's go look at your DNA. And then they find out that he has it.
Right, okay, right. No,
and it's the reason that he wasn't able to lift the cars, because the gamma was at a low.
Word, I know, that's the explanation, but it's like, I don't know, I thought wouldn't have made, I don't know, never mind.
No, I think it would have just been fine to have it be, there's an abnormality in the cells as opposed to the DNA.
Yeah,
just
what kind of works about it is, in the wonderful world of pseudoscience, a lot of the times when they do mutations, the thing they'll play with is, it's this very small factor of our DNA that sometimes comes out.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
And it would be the smallest based element, because that's like the remnant of our evolutionary history. That's how we know that evolution is not bullshit. How we know that dinosaurs and cavemen didn't live at the same time.
Well, here's the thing. It's almost good writing if it weren't just kind of silly from a realistic standpoint. And yeah, I know, it's the fucking Hulk. But still, it's that when you take things that we just know fundamentally are not gonna happen, or at least not happening anytime soon, and definitely weren't happening back then, and just act like it's a casual fucking thing, like, oh yeah, he just fucking fiddled with the machine and we're able to look at DNA.
You mean like the fact that they were able to go into the DNA?
Yeah, and look at the DNA. I'm like, that's just, that part of it's just silly.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Well, no, we're able to sequence DNA now, but back then they're
literally like looking at pictures of it. It's like, this is not possible.
Yeah, exactly. Like that part of it's what makes it silly. But honestly, it's good writing because it gives us the conceit that we need for Bruce to get hit with way more gamma than anyone else should have.
Right.
So it'd be good writing if not for the fact that it's fucking silly and the conceit of how they get it there.
Yeah, and I think what makes it worse is that it's done in a very realistic version of the Hulk. Because the whole universe around this Hulk is extremely realistic. I mean, there ain't no villains in this show.
That's disappointing.
No, Ian, it's very he's the only thing about it that's from the comics. He literally fights something once in the whole show that's vaguely pseudoscientific. Well...
Nah, I figured I just said
not vaguely.
I still find it disappointing.
It's literally just another Hulk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do an episode called The First, where there was this guy... this mad scientist, if you will, who back in the 40s did similar experiments to Banner's, and using this is some pseudoscience for you, concentrated solar radiation, using a giant magnifying glass, was able to create a less powerful but still version of the Hulk, and that this guy is still around, but he got cured. They created a cure for it back then, which I presume is because it's like a lesser version of the Hulk. But what happens is the guy who was the Hulk wants to become it again, and the scientist is dead at this point. And he tricks David Banner into turning him back into the Hulk.
How?
Because he promises, because this guy worked with the scientist, and he promises, if you help me, I'll let you, I know the cure. I'll give it to you. And he has him. He turns back into the Hulk.
Well, first you just got to get a fucking sonic screwdriver, then go find your average radiation machine and go, and then you'll just, bam, you're done.
Well, they use the same equipment, and the fight sucks, but it's just cool to have it in a show where the Hulk's just beating up like mild crooks every episode.
Honestly, how big an actor is Mark Ruffalo?
Would you consider fairly big? He does a lot of independent film.
Okay, I've seen him in Now You See Me, and that was kind of ass. Well, now the movie wasn't ass, but like it was meh.
It looked pretty meh. It looked like the Sorcerer's Apprentice of
movies. Actual. It was supposed to be like. Here's the problem with Now You See Me, is it's all about magicians, and yet I'd say 50 to 60% of the effects they do are obviously digital.
Right.
Like, why would you do that? That's just bam foot,
Because Hollywood doesn't like you, Ian.
And no, I mean, if you're gonna do magicians, fucking do practical effects.
True. But aren't they like that's just using like pseudo-scientific crap to like get the money and shit?
No, not really.
Oh, they're literally using actual illusions? I thought it was like they were using teleportation and shit.
No, they're using actual illusions.
Oh.
And it's just the only thing in it that's like super super unbelievable is the fucking mentalism hypnotism bullshit.
Oh.
I can hypnotize you by just brushing up against your shoulder and whispering something in your ear. No, but like I don't know. I just Mark Ruffalo hasn't really been doing anything. At least I think of. I consider Mark Ruffalo a fucking B actor, to be honest.
You really don't like Mark Ruffalo.
Not particularly.
You're shitting
but
on this guy. What has he done to you, man? Did he shoot your parents
I don't know.
in the back alley or some shit?
I think I'm just angry at like the Hulk franchise in general because like Edward Norton could have been in the Hulk, but instead he's doing fucking cell phone commercials. and
is being in Colin Farrell cop movies.
Right. No, but anyway, like let's say Mark Ruffalo's a B-list actor, right?
Mark Ruffalo.
Because he hasn't been. Let's
really
say the definition of A-list actor is having been in multiple successful.
I'm not arguing that Mark Ruffalo is an A-list actor. I just find it how funny how angry you're getting at him.
No, I'm not angry at him. I'm actually trying to set something up to let him prove himself.
Okay, go ahead.
Why not redo this like a modern show like this? Like, fuck Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Give me a Hulk show with Mark Ruffalo.
They're doing it.
Really?
I don't know if it's going to be in the Avengers universe, but they are doing a new Hulk show. It's been in development hell for years, but they are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, do it like this.
Yeah.
But just, make it a little bit more comic booky. Give us villains.
The only problem is the debate over what you do with the Hulk, because you got to question whether or not people are going to buy a practical Hulk, and then how good the CG Hulk would look in the show.
Well, here's the thing about CG. You only not necessarily. Sometimes you have to make more. But honestly, you only ever really need to make one model.
Yeah.
Avengers already has a model.
Yes.
They just would need to, like, you got the studios working together, they would have to buy that model or trade it around for free. Legal stuff, you never know.
But
the model's there. It's already got a lot of facial expressions built in, which is a bitch! You have no idea how fucking hard facial expressions are.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! Every facial expression that a character makes in CG, you have to make a different model of the head for.
Yeah, it's like stop motion.
Which is insane!
The problem with, I think one of the major issues with it happening now is that the ultimate question is it going to be on NBC or on ABC?
Why would it be on NBC?
Because Universal still owns the film rights to the Hulk.
Does it?
As an independent character, yeah.
What?
He can be in the Avengers all they want, but they still have television rights, movie rights, all that jazz.
That's weird.
That's why...
See, Marvel, really did kind of fuck up a little bit.
Yeah.
Tried to popularize themselves, just from a licensing standpoint.
Yeah, somebody needs to travel, somebody needs to hop in a TARDIS, go back in time, be like, hey, Marvel, don't sell any of your characters, because Because in a little bit, you're going to be making big money on them under your own
Well,
name.
like, that's the thing, is you can't really say that, because would they be as successful as they are if Marvel hadn't popularized itself?
You
know, like, honestly,
yeah, probably
would
not.
the superhero franchise exist if Marvel had not sold the rights to Spider-Man to Sony?
Maybe not. You know, probably not. But I'm just saying, it kind of fucked them over in the end.
You need to get into TARDIS and go back and reevaluate the contract.
Yeah.
It's like, you can keep the rights to these characters as long as you keep making movies for every couple of years, and then just put a little footnote there. Unless we get bought out by fucking Disney.
Then give us our characters back, you bitch. Sony, let go of the Spider-Man. He's done.
Nah, I'm kind of enjoying Amazing Spider-Man.
The
more I see of this second one, I'm like, okay, let's see them finally do this and not just be a, soft sequel.
I don't know. It's coming out the same day as another movie I'm interested in, so I'll see it at some point.
What else is coming out that day? Is it Godzilla?
Wait, what day is it? It's in July? It's in July, right?
I have no idea.
Oh wait, no, Godzilla's the 16th. Oh, they moved it. Never mind. It was coming out the same day as Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I want to see that much more than Spider-Man.
Fuck Spider-Man. I'm watching the apes.
But anyway, back to the pilot.
Yes, back to the pilot.
This isn't even really a review of the pilot. We just keep talking about fucking Hulk.
Yeah.
Just in general.
I mean, the thing is, it's just a really good origin story.
It really is. It's one of the few superhero origins that's actually fascinating.
It is really interesting.
And this is the best version of the Hulk's origin I've ever seen.
Likewise. Likewise.
It's not like I've gone and scoured the earth, but you have.
You won't find much that's better than this. And the thing is, what is better or as good as this is all done in retrospective. Like, Peter David's run is all done like, oh, we're going to go back and reconsider this point that happened in the 60s. Like, oh, you remember when this happened? Here's why. It's kind of the same thing as what Grant Morrison's done with Batman's history. Where it's like, all the Silver Age stuff was in a pressure chamber. It's like, oh, the reason why not everybody turns into the Hulk when they get hit by gamma rays is because gamma rays just personifies what you already were. Or what you subconsciously desire.
And apparently a lot of people desire cancer and death. That was a really... Oh my
god! Ian, did you see the Snickers commercial that they did with Godzilla?
No.
Alright, it's hilarious because it's Godzilla. They do classic Godzilla. They do a classic Godzilla suit, and Godzilla's hanging out with like college frat kids, like going around like fucking water skiing and having beach parties and going to like beer keggers and shit. And there's this scene where and the whole joke is, oh, Godzilla's actually pretty awesome. Yeah, except when he's hungry. And then they cut to Godzilla attacking a city. And in the first image you see of Godzilla just looks at a girl and just shakes his head, and she's just like, oh yeah, I'd do that, radioactive lizard. And me and my friends all made the same joke. 50 years later, she's gonna show up at Godzilla's door with catastrophic cancer. It's gonna be like that scene from Watchmen where fucking he's on the talk show, and she shows up, and she pulls off like, Godzilla, look what you've done to me, and Godzilla kills everyone in the room.
Right.
Anyway, back to the Hulk.
Alright, let's talk about just the pilot for a while here.
Yes, let's do it.
For about an hour in.
Let's nail it down.
Okay. So, like, what's your favorite part of the pilot? Because mine is definitely the gamma ray scene.
My favorite
that he does
sequence?
it to himself. Yeah, or just favorite part in the thing, favorite scene or whatever.
Probably when he's in the pressure chamber. Just because I find that, I mean, you just get to see Bill Bixby acting his ass off. Because he has, I mean, I think maybe one of the only criticisms of the pilot is that David Banner kind of has this moment of cliched scientific curiosity, which, I mean, it makes sense that he would have that, but it's like, this happens in every monster movie. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, there's a major problem, so we're going to prolong it by studying it. And what saves it kind of is that he literally knows nothing about this incredible condition, so he feels that his duty as a scientist is to look at it. But just
and he's I like that he sections himself off.
Right, he's smart about it. He puts himself in what would seemingly be an impenetrable cage.
Which is a really, as much as they talk that thing up, it's really cool to see the Hulk completely destroy it.
Yeah, and that's also
that
why it's...
first time that the fist breaks through the porthole, it's like, holy shit!
Yeah, and they don't... And it's interesting because, they're smart about not showing the transformation too much. Because they have that first amazing one in the rain, and they're like, well, we've done it already, people are gonna know, so fuck it, just shock them, let's get one scare in this. And then she's just talking, and they build it up, like, oh, he's having the nightmare, she's watching the EEG, and then she just walks over, and Dr. Banner himself is, raw, punches through the glass. And the action scene, and the fact that there's no real, insanely invigorating action scenes in this, the 70s Hulk movie. It's a lot of it is just you get to see the novelty of the Hulk just tearing a room apart. And
I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, it was. Really, it is cool to just see the Hulk tear through this pressure chamber.
Yeah, it was awesome. Lou Ferrigno's not bad.
Yeah.
It's really hard to act pissed off like that.
Yeah.
Just to go straight to that, and just be rage machine.
Yeah.
Because, you gotta go to a place to get that to happen, and Lou Ferrigno's pretty good about it. My biggest criticism of this is, why the fuck is everything in, slow motion?
The whole show does that. The whole idea is they're trying to make
It looks terrible.
They're trying to make the Hulk look more lumbering. Because they do this in classic Godzilla as well. They shot it all at really slow camera speed. So that way it looks like Godzilla's moving more, thunderously. To kind of give this impression of mass.
I just think it looks bad. It just looks like it
looks pretty shitty in the show. It really does. And it gets annoying, too, because it's like, alright, we're watching the Hulk slowly walk towards a dude. Oh, he's gonna beat the shit out of him. Nope, he just picks him up and throws him. That's the problem with this show as well, is that they're really they build the Hulk up a lot. It's like, oh, the Hulk's gonna fuck shit up, and he just throws people. That's it. He can't punch. He can't punch anyone because it's a network family show, so he just throws people. It's entertainment.
I really like that. I mean, Lou Ferrigno's pretty good. I just wish they'd actually shot it. Just let it be full, or if anything, if you want to make the Hulk look powerful, fucking speed it up.
I think if they did him in conjunction, it would have worked. I think that I don't know. He does do it very well, and I think he totally he turns the Hulk into a character. As a child, and even now, when I watch Lou Ferrigno play the Hulk, it's like, that's not a guy in makeup, that's the Hulk.
Yeah, the makeup's really kind of rough, though.
It is at points. It looks better in the movie than it does in the show.
Oh, that's sad.
But it's not a drastic difference. The difference is that, here's what happened. I think the Hulk looks awesome in this pilot. Especially the face. He just looks monstrous. There's nothing human about that face. It's just this pure outcry of rage. Kids were terrified by this pilot. And since this is a show based on a comic book, you gotta make it accessible to kids. So they downplay the Hulk's monstrous features a lot in the show. And it's it just doesn't look as cool.
I think the makeup's runny in some of the scenes, particularly
big time, yeah.
That one scene where he's first transforms back to Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
You could see the skin on Ferrigno's hands. I'm like, I know you fuckers shot this more than once. Someone had to notice that. It's
major shit that should not be territory for you Hollywood Babylon fans out there. Hollywood, it's late. Excuse me. But it's a major, and they talk about that a lot in the documentaries, where it's like he would bump into somebody and lose a whole torso of makeup. Because what happened was there was a major problem because there's just no green body paint in the U.S. for a character like this. It's the first time in a movie where a character is just totally green, and so they had to import it from Germany, and it's not designed to be body paint. So, and it had to be, it obviously had to be like, it could be on his skin without giving him like a disease or some shit, like some Goldfinger territory.
Right.
But, so.
Well, that was because they used latex in Goldfinger.
Right. No, but I mean, I'm talking fictionally, why she was dead was because they painted her green and, painted her gold and they left no opening for her to breathe, so her skin suffocated. That was what Bond said.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the
Didn't
special
something like that go down with, like, wasn't there a guy that was gonna play the Tin Man, but then he was, like, allergic, so he couldn't?
The guy who played the Tin Man got sick later in life because of that paint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there was they did it on MythBusters where they said that paint like that is I forget what the myth was, but that it would kill you if you left it on too long.
Mm.
And it turned out to be true. So
fascinating.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why it's so runny, is because it's designed to not be toxic but also look good.
Like, I mean, I can't believe that no one had fucking put on a major, like, a Broadway production night after night of fucking Wizard of Oz with the Wicked Witch or anything, you know?
Right.
It seems just a little crazy.
Yeah. The biggest problem because I rewatched after watching the pilot for this review, I rewatched a couple episodes just to kind of refamiliarize myself with the show. One of my favorite episodes is called Married, where we finally learn that the dirty truth that Bill Bixby cannot keep down a wife. They just all keep dying on him. I mean, David Banner, like the dude, every time he gets married, she's gonna die.
Nice.
Every time.
It's all been there.
It's the third time in this continuity that his wife or would-be wife has died.
Oh, just real quick, I did love that scene at the end where she tells Hulk that she loves him.
Yeah.
And then at the grave, he's like, "I loved you, and even though you never said it, I think that you love me too."
Yeah, it's so tragic.
Oh, that was great. That was like, you know.
Yeah.
The,
Oh, the lonely man. Oh, sad Hulk music.
Like, they need to bring that into the movies.
It was in Incredible Hulk.
It was?
Yeah, for a little bit. When he first transforms and is walking through that Mexican village, you hear it play.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that.
Dun, dun,
right.
dun, dun! They're talking about a new Ruffalo Hulk movie, so maybe it'll be there. We'll see.
They keep talking about that. Like, originally they weren't gonna do it before Avengers came out. Then Avengers Hulk's really popular, so they're like, okay, we're gonna do it. And now they're just kind of like, maybe.
One of the few superhero properties I would like to get involved in my film career. Everyone else I'm scared to do, because I just fuck it up. Like, I could never do a Batman movie or a Superman movie. I could do a Hulk movie. I could pull off the Hulk.
Well, you're a monster movie fan, and I think that's how you have to do a Hulk movie instead of like superhero.
Totally.
But
yeah, I love that. But anyway, back to my quick observation. In the episode Married, there's the whole idea is he goes to this woman because she's professional in hypnotherapy, and the whole idea is she can cure ailments by hypnotizing you, and in conjunction with other forms of treatment, it allows you to control your disease, and that's what he needs, is if he can't kill the Hulk, he can at least control it. So he goes to her, and her whole idea is you need to visualize in your mind something that can physically hold him. And there's a whole, like, barrage of vignettes of him trying all these different things. He tries a strong rope net. He tries, what else? He tries a cage with tranquilizer gas. And then the final thing he tries is a literal bank vault. And the Hulk, at first, can't get out. But then finally he busts the door down. And they do this shot where they have the door falling. And on the fucking wall of the door, you see two giant green handprints. Because that Lou Ferrigno had to push down. Now, that's stupid because he didn't have to actually be all painted up for that shot. Because he's not in that shot. So I wasn't somebody like, hey, director, there's a little bit of green paint on here. Can I wipe it? No, go ahead, kid. No, but instead they were like, oh, Lou pushed that door down with the makeup on. So I thought that was funny.
I don't know. It's really weird. But all right. So, favorite scene for me was the origin scene. You said yours, or the gamma scene.
I also really like the scene. I like a lot of these because this is very nostalgic for me as well. But one of the scenes I also really like, having rewatched it, is when he first goes to her after he turns into the Hulk, and they have that conversation about what had happened.
Yeah, that was good.
I really enjoyed that scene because it's the perfect moment of he's the irrational side of his own mind and she's the rational part, and they're just at war with each other in light of this insane situation.
Yeah.
And also, here's the thing, Hulk has always been very touchy on the Hulk's regeneration factor, because that's Wolverine's thing. That's what Wolverine does. But the Hulk side...
Well, like, they went fucking all out in the goddamn 03 movie.
Oh, yeah.
You see him heal in that shit.
Yeah, and in 2008, he's more indestructible than he is regenerating. And in the show, they have to do it as kind of regeneration because they can't show Lou Ferrigno's Hulk being indestructible. So if he runs into a glass wall, he's gonna get all cut up. So the idea is that he's not invulnerable to it, but he'll just heal. And they show it fairly well. I like the way they show it, where it's kind of a realization, where it's like, oh, look at that cut. Oh my god, it's like half healed in an hour. That's amazing.
All right. Oh, another scene I really liked is when they're interviewing all the people. You know, it starts out with the lady that saved her son, and that was pretty good.
I was lifting up the car.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit ridiculous.
That has become I'm shocked that that's not a meme. Like, that lady is insane. I was lifting up the car.
That was a pretty good one. The one that's like, I was like, wow, they fucking went there, was a lady that survived fucking Nazi death camp.
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, holy shit!
I didn't realize that until this viewing. When I heard that as a kid, I thought, oh, her parents must have died in a gas accident in their apartment. And then today I was like, wait a minute. My parents died that way in Germany. Oh my god! I fucking went there.
Right? I'm like, I wish they spent more time with her than with the fucking military guy or
but I was shocked they went the Nam route. I did not expect, like, the Nam reference.
Yeah, I mean, like, this show took itself really fucking seriously. I liked it.
I also love as a New Yorker, I love the guy who's talking about being in the fire.
He's like, whatever, I just kicked the door down.
Suck it down!
Yeah, like, that guy, I didn't like him, though. I was like, come on, let us get more of the German lady that fucking bench pressed the girl.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about New Yorkers, is we're so fucking over the top when we tell a story. I mean,
I just kicked the door down, and I told my boy, Jimmy.
Fireman took a battering ram to get it open. Because we get so outraged over the littlest thing, we have to focus on our outrage. So, I don't know, as a New Yorker, I appreciated that.
As a New Yorker who doesn't live in New York and lives in the suburbs, I appreciate it.
I live in New York. I live like 20 minutes away from the city.
Yeah, but you never go.
I do too.
When was the last time you went to the city?
Ooh.
Was it when I told you to go to the fucking city to get footage like a year ago?
No. The last time I went was November. No, January. I went to the city. Queens, but still, I was close enough. I drove in the city. I wasn't in Manhattan. I was in Queens, but that's close enough. And I hate Queens. Fuck Queens. Seriously,
Bill
Queens, fuck you. You have shitty roads. Your address system makes no sense. Just fuck you, Queens.
And thus Bill proves that he's a New Yorker. So he has to exaggerate the most minuscule thing.
By the grace of God.
No, but like I really like that whole, like, all the interviews, but damn, the German lady was like, damn, why didn't we get more time with her? She was the most fascinating.
I bent that steel beam and got out.
She fucking, like, think about this. A, like, little old woman who gets exhausted while fucking ironing bends a steel beam because she's like, this ain't going down.
That's her line. No, this ain't going down.
Fuck this shit, nigga. Fuck this shit.
I will not die. Yeah, I liked her a lot. I love all the pre-Hulk stuff as well. All the stuff that builds up to the appearance of the Hulk. It's very, very monster movie-esque, and I think that's why I like it a lot. Is because it's very much so how a lot of times the first 20 minutes of a monster movie are building up to the appearance of the monster, building up all the mystery around the horror and shit.
That usually bothers me, and most times because the characters we're following are nowhere near as interesting as the premise of the monster.
Yeah.
And this, it doesn't, because the characters, they actually do. You're right, this is the best version of Bruce Banner out there. I mean, I still prefer Ed Norton, because, fuck, Ed Norton.
Yeah, man, his subconscious is Brad Pitt.
Right? That's how cool Edward Norton is.
Fuck you, Mark Ruffalo. Brad Pitt is Ed Norton's subconscious. Who's your subconscious? Laura Dern? If anybody got that reference, I commend you highly.
I didn't get the reference, but I thought it was really funny. Just how, like, exaggerated you got there. No, but, like, I like how the guy is portrayed in this.
Yeah.
It's a really sympathetic Bruce Banner.
Very likable. Very
like,
Bill Bixby is really good in the role.
You never see Hulk be a function of the character, of the actual desires, the conscious desires at least. They always, a lot of the Hulk stuff will say, oh, you have all these subconscious wishes, but these are like very conscious desires, and it's like we said at the beginning of the video here, the strength, like the want to be strong, to be able to do great things with your physical strength, is the driving force behind creating the Hulk.
Well, more than that,
that's
yeah.
Great.
Well, more than that even, with this particular version of Bruce Banner, David Banner, is that his whole thing, in the whole series, his major character motivation is he is a doctor through and through. Everything he does is to help people. The whole reason he wanted to be a doctor in the first place, this is in the comics too, but it was done more overtly in the series, is that his mother got very, very sick when he was a child, and his dad just was very ignorant about the whole thing, and he was not able to help his mother, so he became a doctor so it would never happen to him again. He would never feel that helpless in a situation like that again. And that's why he became a doctor, and then, things go from there. He became a geneticist, or whatever the fuck David Banner is. They change it constantly in the series. Like, oh, he's a geneticist. Oh, he's a radiologist.
Well, I guess radiologist makes some kind of sense for a lot of the things, because he's doing work with Gamma in a lot of it.
I assume
the Gamma thing is totally is entirely disconnected from his field. He just finds out about it accidentally.
Later on in the series, they talk about how he used radiation before that.
Well, no, I mean, but let's be fair, in the pilot...
No, fair enough, but I'm just
completely
saying.
Disconnected.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with his career whatsoever.
Yeah, he just wanders in, yeah. Well, they talk about
like,
later...
oh, those gamma storms. What?
Yeah.
What? Plot exposition?
What I like about the show is that they actually use real gamma rays as opposed to whatever the fuck it is supposed to be in the comics, because in the comics, it's just a bullshit name they pull out of their ass. Like, that's not what a gamma ray is. A gamma ray is on the fuck, what's it called? I just took physics last year, I should know this. It's on the light spectrum.
Electromagnetic light spectrum.
Yeah, that thing. And it's really nothing more than a ray of radiation. It's an aspect of the sun. It's not this. You can't turn it into a bomb. You know what I mean?
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
No.
Okay. That was the most awkward fucking exchange we've ever had.
I know, I just want... Like, you're really gullible sometimes, Phil, and I really like to take advantage of that,
gullible,
and I'm sorry.
But I don't believe you, so I'm like, alright, Ian, what have you heard? And you're just like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm open-minded more than I'm gullible. Like, alright, let me hear yours, and if it's bullshit, I won't buy it, but if it makes sense...
No, but, Bill, you're not, like, completely gullible. It's not like I can say, look up on the ceiling because the word gullible's written there, and you'll actually look. Like, I've seen people do that, by the way.
I've seen... no, the dictionary thing is amazing because of how often it does actually work.
What's the dictionary one?
Did you know the word gullible isn't in the dictionary?
Oh, and someone
Yeah,
goes,
they
look,
go,
that's
it's
funny.
like, wait a minute! It's shocking
No, I mean,
how
like,
often that actually works.
Bill, you're not, like, that gullible, but, like, you're reasonably gullible. You
Name
believe
one
some
time.
Musla.
Oh, funny. You're a funny guy.
You actually bought that for a while.
I did not!
Yes, you did.
When did I buy this?
When Superhero Enthusiast sent you the message.
I didn't... No, because he said, in the thing, me and Ian thought it'd be really funny if we would try to convince people that Musla...
Aw, damn it, dude. Alex, you fucked it up.
Yeah,
Bill totally would have bought it.
He told me he put it all on Front Street. I knew that it was bullshit.
Damn it.
More than that, I would never accept that anybody else would be stupid enough to come up with that concept except with me and my friends. Because if when we make that comic, if one day, when we're long gone, somebody actually makes a dark and serious version of Musla, I will actually roll in my grave.
I would watch a dark and gritty Musla movie.
Somebody does the 2014 Godzilla with Musla.
Right.
It's gonna send us back to the Canadian age.
The Canadian age. No, but like I think you're somewhat gullible, Bill.
Name one
I don't
time.
know.
Name one actual time.
I don't fucking keep records.
See? Alright, Ian is wrong here. If anybody in the comments, if anybody's ever remembered a time where I was gullible, put it down there. Otherwise, Ian, you're wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
You're wrong, Ian.
Okay, wait, no, I got one. Alright. You and I were talking about Doctor Who one day, and I made a joke in which I said, no, the reason he can't regenerate more than 13 times is because it's like fucking Benjamin Button. Every time he regenerates, he gets younger. And you're like, seriously?
I hadn't seen the show at that point!
You'd seen enough of the show.
I'd seen like 3 episodes. I didn't even know David Tennant wasn't the Doctor anymore.
You were at least 2 seasons in. You were at least 2 seasons in.
No, bullshit. Bull fucking shit. This did not happen.
I swear, you were at least 2 to 3 seasons in.
Bullshit. You're so wrong. Didn't happen.
Did.
Bullshit. Didn't happen.
You might have even started on Smith.
Bullshit. No. Sorry, don't buy it. Maybe at the time I had seen the 11th Hour for the first time, I would say something like that. But no, not when I was at Smith's run.
Okay. You still believed it. You still believed it.
I had seen like 3 episodes at that point.
Still, you believed it. So there, gullible.
That's not gullible. That's misinformed.
That's gullible.
That's like, hey Ian, if one time in a Godzilla movie somebody threatened to kill somebody with corn. Oh wait, that actually happened. Never mind. So in Godzilla vs. Gigan, somebody threatens to kill someone with corn.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm serious. That happens. It's an amazing scene. There's this whole corporate espionage thing going on.
See, like, the problem is I don't know if I can believe you right now because we're talking about gullibility. Damn it! The web of lies is cracking!
Now I'm gonna make you go watch Godzilla vs. Gigan.
No, fuck it, I'm not doing that.
No,
I'll just accept it and never think about it again.
No, just look up okay, I'm gonna send you an image because it's a thing, and it's become a meme amongst Godzilla fans.
The walls of our friendship are cracking.
It's true,
right
it's true.
Because, like, all the lies are coming apart right now.
Hang on.
It's just like, everything's being, like, we're just stacking the wall full of lies.
Here he is! I found him. This is the corn guy.
The corn guy.
I don't know what his real name is. I never paid that much attention. Godzilla vs. Gigan ain't one of my faves.
I thought you loved all movies with Godzilla in them.
No, there are like 2 or 3 I actually legitimately don't like. I enjoy all of them to a certain extent, except for like 3 of them.
Okay.
There's the corn guy.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's not the scene where he's threatening him. But there's a scene in the movie where he walks up behind him and puts the corn to his back, and the guy faints.
I'm gonna, like, this is why we need Milan here, so he can vividly describe how to kill a man with a corn cob. Like, not in a creative way, though. I mean, like, obviously you could probably, like, choke someone with it, but...
I mean,
and, like, not stabbing either. That's just boring.
You might be able to, I don't know. I suppose you could, like, if you beat him enough, in one spot, like maybe on the top of the head, the top of the cranium, you could do some damage.
I just think the fucking corn would break first.
Yeah, but the human
bones are stronger than concrete. Does no one know this?
Oh, they talk about that in this pilot, where they're like, bones are stronger than than you think they are.
Yeah, I like some of the real science they put into this to like give this movie some credibility.
Did you try the egg thing?
No, I didn't try the egg thing.
I did as a kid, and it didn't work. It cracked all over my hands.
I didn't do it because I didn't want to make a mess. I have done it before. Like, you can't... I don't think the hand in your hands will work, but one that you cannot do is if you put your pointer finger on the very top point of the egg and your thumb on the very bottom point, basically on... Imagine if the egg had poles, alright? The very, very top, the very, very bottom, you cannot squeeze it and crack it.
I see.
I dare you to go try it right now.
I will not, because we're in the middle of the show, and that'd take too long.
Yeah, but it'd be pretty fucking awesome. Like, if you turned on your video, I could put video on screen right now.
It would require too much work.
God damn it, Bill. I don't like you.
I don't like you either. I don't even know why I'm here.
We're not friends. Like, I'm not even sure we ever were friends. This entire friendship's based on lies.
I'm not actually from New York. I'm from Kansas. Or some shit.
That is, like, very not New York. That is
polar
almost
opposite New York.
That is like the most not New York you can be.
I'm just an alternate personality of Captain Logan.
So I've been making videos with Captain Logan, yay.
Huh?
Alright, this worked out for me. I've been making a lot of videos.
I was like, really? How do you know?
See? You are gullible, bitch.
It's not gullible, it's confusion. It's like, oh, really? Oh. Well, you have made videos of Captain Logan. As have I.
Well, yeah, so have you.
We share that. See, our friendship is back. We have a common ground. We've both made videos of Captain.
No, Bill. We've been there before. I can't go back.
Before we started recording, I repeated a joke that I had made to Ian that I forgot I made to Ian, and that to him was the definition of our friendship being over: is repeating jokes to each other that we've made in the past and forgetting about it.
Dude, if that really was the case, I would have no friends.
Me too. I have no friends whatsoever. Yeah.
I do that constantly. Like, I'll tell a joke, and for some reason they'll let me get, like, all the way through the joke or the story before they say, yeah, I heard that. You told me that before. Well, why the fuck that took, like, 10 minutes.
Did you know every breath I take takes away from my life expectancy? You're killing me, man!
Like, why the fuck wouldn't you stop me?
Yeah, totally.
I just spent, like, 10 minutes talking about that all over again.
Yeah.
And then, like, other times... And I felt vaguely racist when this happened.
Oh, I'm so excited now.
Alright. So, I was telling my friend Andrew, who is black, about a time when I had a pet lizard, a time when I went to the pet store with my other friend, David, who is also black. And in the story I said, yeah, we were at the checkout line and David was making fun of me because I'll never be able to have a dog since I have allergies. And I look at Andrew because I expected him to laugh, and he's like stone-faced. I'm like, what? And he's like, that was me. And I'm like, oh.
Oh! You fucked it up like the Lawrence Fishburne Sam Jackson thing. Did you hear about that?
No, I don't think so.
There was a radio guy who everybody hates. Most of the internet hates this guy, who was doing an interview with Sam Jackson about something. And he said, so did you get a lot of positive feedback about that Super Bowl commercial? And he's like, Super Bowl commercial? I wasn't in a Super Bowl commercial. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, my mistake. And he goes, are you talking about Lawrence Fishburne? In the Matrix commercial? And Sam Jackson would not let it go. He just fucking ran this guy into the ground.
That's funny.
And the guy's constantly trying to move on. It was amazing.
I mean, like,
he was interviewing about RoboCop. That was it.
Okay. I guess I kind of did that, but at the same time, the reason I got them mixed up was not because they're both black. It's because they're both black, and usually it's David that makes fun of me.
You're just a closet racist.
Yeah, pretty much, you know. No, it's just, like, the real reason is, most of the time it's David that makes fun of me, so any time I remember someone making fun of me, I usually associate it with David.
I wonder if it's racist that every black man in this show has an afro. All of them. Every black man you see in this show has an afro. Even the children.
Well, no, it was the 70s, though.
Was that everybody? I don't know, I find that slightly
Most
racist.
people, yeah, the afro was big in the 70s.
I know it was big, but was it everybody? Like, literally every African
Dude,
American
fucking
gentleman.
women had afros in the 70s.
Every African American person you see in this, every man has an afro. There are, I don't know, I guess there are only 2 black men in this pilot.
Well, wait. When you say afro, do you mean like more than 2 inches away from their head afro?
I'm being very general with the word afro.
No, because the thing is, at the time, there wasn't like a whole lot of different hairstyles for black men. Like, I don't really think cornrows were a big thing at that point.
Fade.
So, like, you just had, like, kind of, like, short or longer hair for black men. It's just, they were kind of just growing it out, not in afro terms. If it's... An afro has to be pickable. Like, you have to be able to...
Oh, is that the definition?
In my mind, you have to be able to put a pick in it, and it stays.
Oh, so this, by the way, everybody, if you didn't know, Ian once had an afro.
Yeah.
And it was magical.
That's the way you describe a lot of things.
Yes, it is. Everything is.
I'm really starting to doubt how good the Spider-Man series is now.
Oh God! Yes.
No, like my afro, dude.
Bill, are you implying that the Spider-Man show is not up to par?
It's not magical.
It's not, in fact, magical, Ian. Doctor Strange.
Here's the thing about my afro, though, Bill. Here's the thing about my afro. When I first had my driver's license, the picture on it was taken when I had my afro.
Oh, great.
And my afro was so big that it actually goes out of frame of the driver's license.
Oh, beautiful.
Picture. Yeah, it was good shit.
That's magical.
I remember one time in high school, I was walking down the hallway, and I came up next to this really tall black guy who also had an afro. I was just like, mine's better, and I walked away quickly before he had time to think about it.
Beat you up.
No. It was not... I didn't go to that dumb of a high school. Though 2 guys did once get into a fight over the last chocolate Rice Krispies in lunch.
Some of that happened?
Yeah.
How old were they?
Oh, they're like 16.
Oh, great. What a wonderful environment. Getting in a fight.
No, nigga, it's my chocolate Rice Krispies!
We could share... No, there ain't no sharing here! There ain't no caring and sharing.
Alright, Bill, do you have anything else you want to say about the pilot? Because at this point, we're just getting silly.
I'm kind of spent, man. I love it to death. I think it's great.
I really do, too. And it's so interesting that this video is talking about a 70s show and how it excels at doing character, not in all ways, but in some ways better than a lot of the modern stuff does. Definitely. And I think that's the best thing I can say about it, is for the time period, it not only holds up, it exceeds a lot of what we have, in my opinion.
It absolutely does. It's still my favorite version of the Hulk. I would say that this show is still at least in my top 10 favorite TV shows. Having seen all of it, it does get really bad at points, but I mean, when it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it to death. I think it's a great origin for the Hulk. Even as a guy who's all for sticking to the source material, sometimes you just gotta change shit for the better. And all the changes they make in this series are usually for the better. So, I really enjoy it. I'm just all for it, man. It's a great pilot.
Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and do ratings then.
Mm-hmm.
I will give the Hulk pilot 4.25 vaguely homosexual guys named Bruce out of 5.
I'm gonna give The Incredible Hulk, the pilot, 4.5 overacting black women out of 5. I was lifted up the car. It's such iconic delivery. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm putting that in a movie one day. Like, if I ever get to make my Hulk movie, there's just going to be a black woman who is a witness to the Hulk doing something. And she's just going to be doing an interview, and she's just going to go, he was lifting up the car.
Maybe you could track down that actress. She might still be around.
Maybe.
Okay. So, next week, Bill, you have to be here next week, because I'm going to need you. Because, obviously, it's Doctor Who's going to come up.
Are you doing something about how sexy I am?
Well, I'm not going to just make a fictional topic.
You're not wrong.
Anyway, you gotta be there next week, because what the topic I'm going to choose is, we're going to have to bring up Doctor Who. But we're not going to make it Doctor Who-centric, because there's a lot of... It's mainly focused on characters. We're going to talk about immortality.
And
how it's used. Right?
So there.
Yeah, Doctor's going to come up, obviously. And
Highlander.
In case we get any Skype-ins, we'll define immortality as living longer than anyone really should and not having death immediately in the future.
I think,
like, not having death as an inevitable outcome.
Living for well over a natural lifespan.
Yeah, I think that's...
We can include vampires in this.
Oh, totally.
Frankenstein monster.
Depending on your version.
Okay. Let's see. Hang on. I had one, I lost it. Oh, I'm gonna have to rewatch The Man from Earth for this.
Oh, yeah, good one. Alright. So anyway, that'll be a lot of fun. That one's been kind of racking around in my brain for a while.
Good pull, dude. I hadn't even thought of that, but that's a good pull.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to talk about it we're going to talk about immortality mainly in the context of characters, but also how it's used to tell stories and stuff like that. I'm really hoping Milan's there, because I want a title card of all of us with, like, really long beards.
Godzilla with a long beard. Genius. Oh, that's interesting. I can bring up Godzilla, too, because he was my first introduction to immortality.
Okay, everyone, but until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
I'm the Fanatic!
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things. And don't make me